It was ridiculous. And it was just like a team of like 5 people too. It wasn't like we didn't have 10 people doing that. It was just us, and we averaged, I would probably say 7, 8, properties a month in the wholesaling. And so there was no time to really reflect because we had so much going on, and we were making a lot of revenue. We were hitting our numbers. It's hard to sustain that on your own. You need to leverage other people to be able to do that. And at that time, it was just up and up and up and up and up. So I never had that moment really until I got in the title. That's when I was like, man, what did I do?
So you started out wholesaling. Were you also building your rental portfolio at the time, or you just wholesale everything that came across?
Yeah, personally, we were more building our company portfolio rather than personally. I know a lot of partners that do that. Personally, we didn't, which I would have also probably changed that as well, because I hate property managing with partners, and getting nothing basically out of it, as far as cash flow. So I wouldn't have bought properties heavily on the rental side. Now we're selling them because we hate property management, and it's not our strategy right now, because we went in and bought. We kind of like didn't want to go into buying single family rentals. We wanted to jump into the commercial space real quick.
Oh,
We thought we were big time commercial wholesalers. Now, we were doing a lot of revenue in wholesaling. So we thought we had enough liquidity to get into the commercial space, which we did. We had enough to enter. We didn't have enough to sustain though. Huge lesson learned about wholesalers want to get into the commercial space. So, with hard money lending, and wholesaling, you can get away with doing a hard money flip, having 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50 grand and feeling comfortable on a hard money flip or whatever, or having that much to do a wholesale company. But to enter the commercial space, if you think you're going to get away with having only 100 grand in your account and you're going to hit commercial and get into owning a 16 unit or a 30 unit and only having 50 to 100 grand in your account, you better think again. That'll go 50 to 100 grand will go in a month easily in the commercial space. So, we probably should have waited until we had, 600-700 grand liquidity in the commercial space. So to answer your question, as far as getting into the buying side, we did it as a partnership. We went heavy, but we went into buying a 16 unit, buying an 8 unit, and here and there doing flips. We were more active on the flips. We did the Airbnb and we did some owner finance. The rentals actually turned into owner finance notes whenever we didn't want to property manage them. We just, owner financed them.
I think we discussed this before we started recording, was something that you shared that you do, and I do the same. That every time we go through an experience, I call it, I debrief. And I think you said you do the same. You look back and you say, okay, what could you have done differently? And looking back, it sounded to me like you guys just started to do all kinds of different things, right? You started wholesaling and you had a lot of success in the wholesaling business. So then you now think you're the big boys, right? You could go conquer the world. And we all feel that. We all have that in us, right? And you want to do everything.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, we were just, oh man, we got introduced to a lot of guys. We got a part of a mastermind. Oh yeah, let's go start a business. I mean, not only getting commercial space, we started other businesses. We're like, yeah, let's go buy that, buy that. We had money, buy. But, oh, man, that's what I love about business. Even when your worst failures, there's always going to be a humongous lesson learned, whether you lost 50 grand or not. Yeah, I mean, it's 50 grand, it's lost, but you just learned a lot. And a lot of people fail to realize that. That's not just a lesson learned. That's our money lost. That's a huge lesson learned. Now you get to cross that off, eliminate off of that list because you're not doing it again.
Yeah, I think nothing engraved in your brain as hard as seeing how much money in the bank that you started off with, how much you end up with when you make the wrong decisions.
Oh, 100%. Because I know what I had when I quit my W-2.
Yeah.
A W-2, I sold personal home, and I cashed out my 401k. You know, I wanted all that money to go build a team, hire people, and, you know, people don't really take into account the risk that it takes to be able to do that, you know, and now looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't have that much anymore, but what do I have? I have a business that pays me for my freedom now. You know, I have a title company where I really don't have to be here. You know, I can go on 2 weeks vacation and I can earn my W-2 paycheck that I earned from it. And, you know, I basically bought my freedom where I can get into another business, you know. But yeah, 100%. 100%. There's nothing worse than a gut wrenching feeling on seeing, or not even seeing all that money gone, but the fluctuation in business, you know, like what it is on a monthly basis. Like, oh my God, what did I get myself into, man?
Yeah, I think it's really hard. I think as an entrepreneur, business owner, the biggest challenge that we end up facing sometimes is when we're on top of the mountain and you get everything coming at you, and it takes discipline to say no, right? Because everything sounds great. I mean, we all have this in us, in our blood, in our genes, to look at things on the brighter side. Because otherwise, you can't go start your own business. But so then you end up trapping yourself in overextending, and then not realizing the amount of cash it takes to.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, I mean, y'all couldn't have said it better. You know, that's exactly what we did. You know, it's in our blood, and we feel like we're risk takers. And oh man, I just took a risk. You know, and it panned out well. You know, we're having 300,000. We had a $300,000 month, $200,000 month. We hit $100,000 months consistently very early, like in our first year. You know, and it was just like, oh man, if we could do that, you know, look at the risk that we took. So that was what we had on our mind. You know, hindsight's 2020. So whatever we do next is gonna be the same. It's like, shut up, no. 16 unit. You didn't look at the plumbing. You didn't look at the electrical. You know, like. Oh man, yeah, for sure. We want to take over everything and risk it all, you know. And
Yeah.
there's a point in business where you have to start looking at things and saying this is not smart, you know. Like, and I learned quick on the buying side about evaluating and not letting wholesalers not let you have access to certain deals, especially commercial side. You can have access to these 3 units, but you can't have access to these other 8 units because there's tenants. You know, I would never, ever buy a property or a commercial property that I didn't have full access to all the units, you know. And it's just because, you know, you're like, oh yeah, it's because there's tenants. You know, no, it's because there's an electrical problem or plumbing problem they don't want you to see, you know, or evaluate how bad the foundation is over there in that unit, you know. So definitely huge lesson learned there, you know, and all that in business in general, you know.
That falls back to the due diligence, right? You bought 16 units, but you only looked at maybe 3. So it sounds like due diligence would not perform the way it should.
Correct. Right.
Well, I'm glad you made all those mistakes for us, Jared.
I know, right? You're welcome.
All right.